Oh shit! I almost ate shit right there.
Yeah, I hope that stays on the podcast too.
Oh no!
I hope that stays there.
Oh man,
It's like a blooper.
oh god. Welcome to the Not For Nothing podcast, where we are exploring the thrilling, hilarious dichotomy of being everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Picture this: your alarm goes off and you stumble out of bed and suddenly find yourself faced with an existential crisis of choosing between avocado toast or paying the rent. Join us as we dive deep into the intriguing world of mental health and career life journeys, navigating the chaos with comedic flair and unwavering honesty. I am your host, Ramirez, and this is Not For Nothing podcast. Today's guest, he is an interesting man. Our guest is Carlos Ramirez, a renowned tattoo owner, artist, and softball coach with a unique blend of creativity and athleticism. Welcome to the show, Carlos.
What's up, bro? Appreciate it.
How you doing?
Good. People actually eat avocado toast?
Yeah.
That's a rough morning.
No, that tastes actually good though.
Avocado toast or rent.
Especially you throw a little slice of some sliced up boiled eggs on top of it. Ooh, delicacy.
Sounds like, never mind.
Well, brother man, I appreciate you being here. First, I want to know what made you pursue the career of tattooing.
Oh, shit. I can't say that word, right?
No, you can say that. That's perfectly fine.
You mean pursue as in like what got me into tattooing or like what made me continue it?
Well, like what was your fascination with the art and the discovery of it and how it made you love it?
Well, tattooing kind of found me, but when I was in high school, I really was trying to go the digital art route.
Okay.
And not so much because I really didn't like it, but I wanted to work for Disney and draw. And my art teachers were just very brutally honest and was like, Carlos, like everything's digital art, like, and you struggle with that. So I was like, I have to find another means of making money as an artist. Outside of, my drawing Mickey Mouse was now a shattered dream. So, I was like, all right, I went home, thought about it. I couldn't really even figure it out. I was getting high. I was watching Miami Ink on TLC. And I was like, I think I could do that. I'm like, they're just tracing on skin. I mean, that's how I looked at it. I'm not saying that that's what we do, but, at the time I was like 16, 17 years old. I was a run. And then I was like, I think I'm gonna go this route. And then I got into tattooing shortly after. I graduated. I had some bumps down the road, but at 19, I started tattooing. And kind of tattooing saved my life. So I'm gonna give tattooing its praise, but it changed my life. And then since the age of 19, I've just been rolling. But I'm self-taught, so my journey's been a little bit more difficult than others.
Well, speaking of your skill set of self-taught, describe the inspiration behind your unique artistic style and how the significance of body art as the medium of self-expression.
When I started, my thought was, all right, people want art on their body, their self-expression, cool, whatever. I think when you start off, you have these little hopes and dreams that you don't really know because you're just starting out in the industry. So I just did everything as much as possible, educated myself. I read a lot of books. Couldn't get an apprenticeship, so I was constantly in Barnes and Nobles reading up on a lot of books. YouTube. Surprisingly, back then in 2009, there wasn't that many tutorials on YouTube for tattooing. Not like now. Now somebody could just go on YouTube and they'll figure out how to tattooing in 3 days. But I just reading a lot of books. I networked with a few tattooers that were some, they were old heads then. They're prehistoric now. And I just went from that. But it was a lot of it was vigorous retraining my brain, bro. Like, people don't understand that as an artist, when you draw, you have to draw and build exercises. But when you tattoo, if you're not drawing, you're tracing. If you're not tracing, you're drawing, and then you should be tattooing. And you need to educate yourself on every little niche in the industry, every little thing, from Japanese finger waves to neo-traditional pinups to old school panther head to maybe a tribal. I don't do tribals, but you know, if you want to be well-rounded, you got to educate yourself and take pride in it. So I did that and made sure that this is permanent. It's on somebody's skin. So if we're gonna be moving forward, like on skin, I got to make sure that it's done. Even when I was young and didn't have much knowledge, I knew that much. Like, this is on skin. Like, I can't mess up somebody's skin. This is on them for the rest of their life. So my process was a little slower, but it was a little rougher than some guys. And then once I got the hang of it, I just started rolling. But I tried to keep what's that word? I try to keep it authentic and keep my name, like, where if 10 years down the road, like, example, there's a tattooer, he's retired, but to me, he's like a legend in the Bronx, especially in New York, but uptown in the Bronx, his name is always going to be on a god level, is Champion. If Champion had a certain lettering that he did in the 80s to the 90s on every female's arm that was sideways. Had a little heart in the eye and a star somewhere in the damn lettering. I'm pretty sure you got a friend that their grandmother got it, or their aunt got it, or their mom's got it, like, some of his work. You know his work. You can look at it and be like, that's Champion. Respectfully, 15 years down the road now, I will not cover anything, because there's people that want to cover his stuff because, you know, it's old and outdated. I will not cover it out of respect to him. Like, no, he's a pioneer. He was tattooing since I want to say maybe like early 80s. And he was tattooing underground, because tattooing was illegal in New York City up until 96.
Wow.
Yeah, people don't know that. So, like, if you hear about family members, if you got an uncle who got a tat in New York City in 92, he definitely got that in the basement or in the back of a store, like, illegally, because in 96 it became legal. And then in 98, that's when shops was going crazy, making all this money. So when I started tattooing, I was able to get in at the right time. Yeah, it was years later, 96 to 2009. That's a long time, but I was able to still get in when it was still a good time in the industry. So I've always just tried to keep my own art, which was a graffiti background. Originally, I was a bomber, and my pops was a bomber. I was a bomber, and I just was able to try to keep that art form, that New York street graffiti art form. I try to keep that in my tattooing, which is why I gravitated towards neo-traditional and new school tattooing, which is why I went that route. And I could do a little bit of everything, but I prefer those two, like, genres of tattooing.
Because that's your niche. That's your mastery of art.
Yeah, that's what I prefer anyways. I feel like it holds up better, looks good, it's bright, it's vibrant, And it's a test of time. I've had clients bump into other clients of mine on the subway.
Wow.
And they're like, wait, that's a nice arm. Who did that? Carlos? Unique Ink? And they're like, yeah, how you know? Oh, that's my tattooer as well. Because of either my lettering, my roses, or just some of my clouds. I have a certain style I do with my clouds. My birds, even down to certain color choices that I make, which everybody kind of, you've been watching me or know me or get tattooed by me, like, he prefers using these colors more than those. For my own reasons, but I got like a crazy color palette, so that's where that background comes from, like that whole graffiti theme. Like, I'll put colors together that some guys will be like, how the fuck you make that work? And I'm like, yeah, well, it works. Wow. Can't teach you my secret, but it works.
And for the viewers don't know, like, Carlos is an existential athlete. He also coaches softball. So, with your understanding of the sports world, in the sports world, tattoos have become almost synonymous with self-expression and identity. As a tattoo artist, what role you believe tattoos play in athletes' lives and their connection to their sport?
Oh man, you're not gonna like this answer.
Go ahead.
You don't really see it in the softball community. Mainly because I don't think those females are there yet. Plus, we don't have like as a softball community, there's no MLB for softball. There's no, there's leagues and it gets broadcasted, but like professionally paid, like softball. If I'm wrong, then shit, somebody let me know. But I don't think that there is. So I don't see the girls doing that because they're still in college. All the softball you watch is NCAA. I don't think that if they have tats, they're not showing it. But when it comes to like football, baseball, and even basketball, yeah, a lot of these guys are getting tatted. I think they do it for the aesthetic, just for the look. I think it's this whole, I look cool. I got this badass look. Like everybody now wants a full front panel. They want their whole back. A full front panel, if people don't know, that's from like your chest covered straight down, everything. And then if you have a t-shirt, it's literally tattooed like a t-shirt. And then you have like a long sleeve, which is from your wrist, everything's covered. So back then when I remember being a kid, seeing like one or two guys like that. And in my head, that's a bad man. Like that's a badass. Like this man's a killer. And like that was how it was viewed back then. And now it's like, oh, this person loves art. He's a collector. He has a nice back piece. He's collecting a painting, because there are tattooers that they're painters, but they use tattooing as their medium. So now a client is able to spend $10,000 on a back piece. And instead of having the canvas on their wall in their house, they're carrying it on their back. So like, there's that side of tattooing, and there's the real, raw, direct, grimy side of tattooing. I think with the sports world, I'll be honest, there's a lot of basketball players with some shitty ass tattoos. A lot of them. I don't want to get your podcast, killed, so I won't mention these ball players' names.
Oh, we don't have to mention them, but that's perfectly fine if you're giving your honest opinion about it.
Now, a lot of their tattoos are garbage. A lot of these guys have all this money. Same thing with these rappers. And for some reason or the next, they choose not to go to quality tattooers or to go to an actual artist and get actual art tattooed on their body. They prefer to just walk around with some chicken scratch. Okay. They want to continue looking like a Chipotle bag. So, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But it makes it difficult for tattooers like myself and the peers that I work with, because we're artists. So when a young kid sees this ball player with this horrible tattoo, they come in with that same reference off Google and they expect that same kind of garbage. I'm not putting that on you. And if you don't understand that, then me and you can't conduct business, because I'm an artist. I'm not going to do what you want because, fulanito from X team has it on. Like, I don't care. But then, and I feel like that's really just ball players. Because a lot of football players got some dope work. Like Max Crosby got an amazing front panel. But again, I feel like he does it he might have done it for the aesthetic look, the whole badass look. A lot of like leg sleeves. Bro, leg sleeves at some point, people were like, that's feminine. Like guys with leg sleeves, that's gay. Like when I came up tattooing, if you had a leg sleeve, you were a tattooer. Like that's how we knew that man does tattoos. Like, or maybe he's a surfer, or he's into nature or something like that. Other than that, you didn't see nobody chilling on the block with a leg sleeve. Like, wow. So it's changed, but who I think started I feel like Odell Beckham was like one of the first guys to do the whole leg sleeve thing in the football world.
Well, yeah, he's a big media personality, along with being a phenomenal athlete,
and he's an influencer. Like, look, if he says something in the football community, a lot of young kids jump on it and they go that route. Example, the cleats. The cleat game has changed because of him.
Oh yeah, tremendously.
And I mean that wholeheartedly, because me and you as former teammates, we made sure our cleats game was on point.
That is true. That is true. OBJ, if you see this, like, pull up on the podcast. I ain't gonna lie. Pull up to the tattoo shop. You'll be blessed. But
shit, I go to his hotel room and tattoo him.
Anyway, I see that you speak passionately regarding of, like, you know, tattooers' experience, especially dealing with the high rise of like social media or the trends or the panels, the front panels, as you stated earlier. Tell me the difficult intricacies of like trying to plan something out, like planning a big piece and trying to meet the requirements of the clientele, even though you're trying to guide them in a way like, hey, this would benefit you more if we walk in this trail.
I think that's experience. Comes with time. It comes with proper training. I think it's just the communication. First and foremost, it's the consultation. You got to have the right consultation with the right client. The client has to be open-minded. I feel like somebody who wants a front panel or a full back piece, or even a full sleeve, or a whole leg sleeve, or even if it's just like hip to thigh, those are still large projects, you know. I feel like a client who's really invested or that's about to invest all that time and money, has looked at your work, has spoken to you probably a few times already. And then you have this consultation, and it's consultation. And I don't mean like a 5-minute consultation. I mean like a 20, 30 minute, maybe an hour consultation where you breaking things down and they have an open mind. Some clients don't always have open minds. If if the client has an open mind and you tell them like, hey, this is what works best with your skin tone. Let's go with this, that. Because some people can see an image on a piece of paper and be like, this is fire. But not understand that now this is going on your body. And let's say we put it on your arm is going to wrap. We have to make it flow. There has to be a flow. So it flows your body. The composition of the tattoo has a nice, elegant flow where this doesn't look stiff and flat. It just flows naturally on the body. So I feel like those things have to get checked off immediately. And then of course, the deposit, deposit, so we know you serious, and then just work from there. I feel like there are some clients that want to rush it. You can't rush projects like that. You gotta flow. You gotta let the skin. Remember, we're tattooing skin. That's your skin. So if your diet is horrible, people don't get that either. If you're not sleeping, if you don't get a good night's sleep, you're not eating, and I mean eating like healthy or pretty decent. You're not drinking enough water. It makes your skin heal funny. You have a bad healing process. The skin might not agree with you. Like all of that, you have to take under consideration. Some tattooers, when they start out, they don't know that. They figure it out. But I feel we're in an age where, you can educate yourself on your phone. You can ask Siri. Or if you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, you can ask Bixby. Like, you can ask your phone certain questions. Like, that plays a big role. I definitely know that plays a big role. I have some projects I've worked on, and I've had a client, their skin wasn't agreeing with me. Why? Because she was on 2 hours of sleep, and she came in here and didn't eat. Wow. And I was like, okay. It was also on her menstrual. That plays a big role. Then I've had guys, they'll drink water. Their appointment will be with me on a Friday. They'll drink water maybe Wednesday and Thursday. Bro, that doesn't help. You drink Pepsi and smoke blunts all day. Like, your skin is horrible. Like, you don't exfoliate, you don't lotion, you jump in a hot shower, you come out, you don't do nothing with your skin. You just get dressed and go. Like, nah, it's important to take care of your skin, especially once you get tattooed. And then half the battle is just the tattoo. The other battle is you going home with it. You got to take care of the tattoo. That's your part now, to take care of your financial investment, because it's an investment. People, I just want a tattoo. Tattoos are not a necessity. That's a luxury. So when you hear the prices, I get people that think I'm losing my mind. Like, that's fine, because this is not a necessity. You don't need that tattoo. It's a luxury. This is a piece of art you're paying for. So you make a permanent financial investment on your skin for some art. You should be open and understand how to take care of that tattoo so that when you leave the shop, nothing happens to the tattoo. And if you take care of it and it holds up and you go to a solid tattooer that knows what they're doing, that tattoo is going to last you 10 to 15 years. I've been looking at tattoos that have been coming back to me from 2013. And I'm like, wow, they look like they got done yesterday. And I'm like, thank God, you know? Because half the battle is a client. I can't control if a client goes to the beach or if they're soaking in the sun, you know? You have no control over that. You can advise them and tell them, will they listen? But it's also with educating with your client, you know? There's some tattooers that just want to do the tat and get you out of there. Not me. I want to educate my client at the same time. So when you walk out of here, you know, like, I shouldn't sit in the sun so much. You know, if I'm gonna sit in the sun, let me put a little bit of sunblock on. You know, certain things like that. Why it's better to get tattooed in the winter than getting tattooed in the spring or the summer. You know, it's those little things that matter.
So you talked about consultation and, like, you know, actively communicating with the artist. Do you think that the consumers should do some good extensive research on the artist? It's like, hey, this is my right person. This person meets the style qualities that I like. The price point is right. It reached, like, you know, all 9 cylinders. Do you believe that it's the consumer's responsibility to take a look into that instead of just like walking into anybody?
I feel like, yeah. I feel like a potential client should do some kind of homework. And back then when I started, we had social media. MySpace, Facebook was just like popping off.
Oh God.
Yeah. But tattooers, bro, there was flash racks on the wall. Like, you walk in the tattoo shop and there was a rack of just art and people picked that. I want that, and they got it on their skin. There was guys doing custom stuff. Yeah. You know, but for the most part, people were doing flash and what was on the walls and what was in books. And back then, you would have to come into the tattoo shop and look at people's portfolios. And if there was only 5 tattoo shops in the area, you only had 5 shops. Let's say there's 5 artists per shop. You got 25 options. It's not like Instagram now where, you know,
everybody can draw for some odd reason.
But then you also, you know, even as me saying that, as coming up, that you consider like a street shop, where they take walk-ins and it's fast paced. There were people that did their research and had tattoo magazines and were looking at artists and they were like, okay, this guy's from Texas, and they actually went and flew to Texas and, you know, met with this person or emailed them ahead of time and figured things out. And those happen to end up being like big collectors. But for the most part, back then, you really had to do some research. And there's also a reason why there's some people from back then that got some bad looking tattoos, because their options weren't so broad. Now you just go on your phone, look up a few hashtags, you know, the algorithm pick it up. Out of nowhere, you got 50, 60 options. And then, you know, but then there's a flip side of it too. There's artists that are, and this is the part of the industry now that I don't like. There's guys that are doing their tattoos and they're going on Procreate or Photoshop. They're editing their tattoos. They're adding filters to it. They're enhancing the contrast. They're adding white so it makes the highlights pop. And then they upload the picture. So now it gives an unrealistic expectation to the client. And then it clients who don't know are now judging me because they're looking at that man's filtered image and trying to compare it with my raw, straight how it is image. I'm a tattooer, I'm not a photographer. Now it's different. We got to build content. We got to do reels. We got to do all this influencer stuff to stay relevant and be part of the algorithm. But I don't filter my tattoos. I never have. I never will. I don't see the point, because the way my tattoos look fresh, that's how they heal. I'm not going to add a filter on it to please a client, to almost bait them. You know, throw the bait in there and hook and bring them in. Like, you know, and again, I'm gonna call it how I see it, bro. I'm not gonna mention no names, but handful of dudes that I came up with since '09 that now they only do realism, and they filter their pictures, and then I've seen their work healed in person. Horrible, like faded out. The blacks ain't black, and I'm like, these guys are milking clients, charging people maybe thousands for a piece that doesn't hold up. And then that's another thing too, man. People think, oh, you're a tattooer. Like, yeah, I'm a tattooer and I give tattoos, but it's about the experience too, you know?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you gotta make sure my client's comfortable, they have a good experience with me. You know, they laughed a little bit, maybe they cried a little bit, you know, depends, you know, whatever the situation is. You know, I've had clients come and get a memorial tattoo for a family member or a pet that passed away.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a somber, bitter time for them.
Yeah.
And you just got to do the tattoo and comfort them, make them feel comfortable. I've had people cry. I ain't really good with that emotional stuff, so I'll give you a napkin, maybe give you a little hug, but like, you know, I'm not a therapist. I mean, I'm an underpaid or non-paid therapist, but you know, I'm not gonna 20-minute hugs like, come here now, you know. But it's about the experience, and if you make a person feel comfortable or you made a person laugh, they're always gonna remember that and they'll come back to you. As opposed to some people will be like, oh yeah, I went to this guy, and they sat there for 10 hours, and the tattooer just had his headphones on, and just zoned them out. Yeah, just tattooed, like, you know. It's almost like it's like going to a dry escort who's just like by the clock, just wham bam, thank you ma'am, and get up out of here.
Oh my God.
Or going to like going to a brothel, and then you scoop up another escort who has substance, who's talking to you, making you relaxed. You know, that's the difference. I know it's a crazy analogy, but somebody will hear this and be like, I get it. Like, you know, it's about an experience. Yeah. If I tattooed you for 10 hours, bro, and I charge you $150 an hour, right? Yeah. That's in the thousands already. And I'm just there 8 hours, pounding away at your arm with headphones on.
We're not saying one word.
One word. Yeah. Not even asking you if you're okay. Maybe give you like a 30-minute, a 45-minute break to eat. And then we don't even talk. And then you're like, now I just ching, I just hit the ATM on your pocket, and then you get out of here. Some people might like that. If you like to get used and abused, by all means. But you're not I don't look at people like a cash cow, like an ATM. Like, you know, you're a human being. At least I can have a conversation with you. I tattoo here, and some of my clients be nervous. And me and my peer, I don't know if you can see him in the background.
in the mirror, yeah, tattooing, yeah.
You see that guy right there with the, there you go, that guy. We'll crack jokes, and we just, you know, we try to break the ice for some clients, make them feel very comfortable, and they like that, and they'll come back. You know, and maybe that's how I'll keep some clients. Some clients don't like that. It all really depends on the person. You know, I feel like, you know. Remember when you was a kid and you got your needle, you got blood taken out for the first time by your doctor?
Yeah, my parents told me that I was like a whirler, just straight up, no. And then,
but you remember how there might have been a nurse who was a little bit more like,
more calm, like real quick, talking to me.
And the finesse. Right? Why? Because she made you feel comfortable. And then there might have been a nurse that was like, no, sit there, don't move, and duct taped your arm down and just.
Oh, damn. Oh, yeah. We freaking missed the vein. Oh, wait, we got to do it again.
Right. Yeah. So it's almost like the same thing here, you know? And I'm a human, bro. I can't just sit here for 12 hours, not talk or listen to music. Yeah. Like, I'm not a robot. Like, nah. I can't do that. If you're one of those individuals and you're an introvert and you like to stay in your little hermit crab, and then cool. Like, and you know, I like to keep to myself too. Yeah. But I don't like people. I'll be honest. I don't like people. I don't like speaking to people. Yeah. But I've learned. You know, I had to get over that in college when I took speech 101 and 102. I had to speak in front of like 50 people. Yeah. And then I got into a field and chased a career that I gotta speak to people. I gotta, you know. Yeah, and sometimes we're human. I have a rough morning. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have a rough attitude when I come to the shop. I try not to project that. Sometimes I just can't help it. Yeah. You know, and we're human, you know, and nobody's perfect, you know. Well, as long as you're working on it and it's like, hey, yo, my bad, I'm not feeling it. You know, before, I'd go outside and, you know, have a drink. Let me go get a shot.
Yeah.
You know, or sometimes I've had clients piss me off, and I go outside. I got a deep breathe. I got like woosah.
Yeah.
And then come back in and let's try this again. And then sometimes there's situations where it just doesn't work out, and you just have to tell the client straight up, like, I can't do this today. And hopefully they're understanding, and we can reschedule.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they're like, no, fuck this. I'm going elsewhere. Like, whatever. Because if you're in a bad mental place, the tattoo's not coming out good. There's so much that goes on with just tattooing. People be like, oh, well, you put a stencil and needle and nah, bro, that's like that. That's
the small crux of it.
That's just touching the surface. There's so much to it.
It's just the tip.
Right, really just the tip. Just that little that's it. You know,
I think what I'm hearing from my understanding is like it's more into like the process of, okay, it's not only stenciling, it's also like the mental focus, the leaning, the making sure like is it like, you know, in a proper profile, so whenever you're walking or whenever you talk, like people can actually see the image, like, you know, correctly.
Yeah.
So I can feel empathy on that standpoint there, where it's just like I'm putting as much emotional, physical, spiritual effort into this work.
Yeah, and then there's the other part that some people don't believe and some people do believe.
Yeah,
we're exchanging energies more. So I'm opening your skin. So there's that whole, some of your demons might be releasing and some of your energies are releasing. We exchange energies because we're that close.
Okay.
They say that's that ritual aspect of tattooing. Whatever. But you do exchange energies. If my energy's off, my client energy's probably gonna be off. There's been clients that walk in and their energy's off, bro. It's so off that it throws off my buddy over there. It throws off him because their energy's that bad. Their aura was just, and it's like, oh shit, like, you know, those are the clients where we're like, you know, yeah, they might be paying me like $900, $700, but it's like I'm about to earn this money. Like I have to earn it. Like this is about to be hard mental labor. Because people be like, oh, you don't do much, you sit down. I'm like, sitting down, I think takes a toll on the body more than, you know, some physical labor. Because we're hunched over, we got the strip back, you know. Then the mental draining on this job is crazy, you know. I got to get my eyes checked every year to make sure I'm not going blind. We're straining our eyes all the time, you know. There's so much I didn't know. I swear, had I known all of this before, when I was 17 years old, I'd be like, sayonara.
That's what part of us probably, like, you know, deemed to wish for. Like, dang, if I had the mental capacity of what I have now when I was a youth, boy. Yeah,
well, I think back then too, tattooers weren't friendly. Like, really think about it. Back then, a tattooer, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Sit in the chair. Don't move. Yeah, it's $500.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like now, tattooers are a little bit more friendly because the industry has lightened up and it's changed. And there's a lot of political. There's a lot of PC going on.
Yes.
And it's softening up the tattoo culture.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a handful of artists like myself that are still very like, like, no, that's not the way. Everybody has their own views, and that's the luxury of it, is that we're artists. We all have different views.
Yes.
So different walks of lives, different clienteles.
Yep.
I would love to tattoo anime, cartoons, nostalgic stuff all day.
Yeah.
But 7 out of 10 of those clients won't like my vibe or my energy, or maybe because I also don't look like a nerd, you know? So they'll go to a tattooer who's more in their comfort of social thing.
Yeah, like their openness of it, yeah.
You remember when you met me on the football field, most people are very easily intimidated by me. Like, oh. And then once you have a conversation, it's really not a bad person.
It wasn't difficult for us. I was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? It's just
yeah, you played next to me, so it was like, all right, I got no choice but to really speak to this guy.
I'm like, I'll make sure I earn that respect. I'm like, oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but I remember even seeing your shorts when you were in practice, the Coast Guard shorts, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I was like, okay. I'm like, he served. I'm like, all right. So, you know, guys who serve always give a little bit more respect to him.
Oh, thank you.
So I was like, all right, he's cool, you know. And then, but I was just hearing you talk, and I was like, this guy's funny. I was like, this guy's funny.
Yeah, I try not to take too many things seriously or to heart.
Yeah, me either. But, you know, yeah, and for the podcast, don't just talk about my softball. Remember, we played football together for a few seasons.
Oh yeah. It was a lot of ups and downs in that aspect, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was just fun.
Let's go with that word.
Yeah,
fun.
and you know, F is for friends who do stuff together.
Yeah, I mean, and this will be my last official like season playing.
Oh,
for
really?
me, yeah. We're getting old, bro. Like,
yeah. You ain't getting old here.
Nah, my body's letting me know. Plus, I had a fracture last season that still hasn't healed, and I'm like, like right now, I'm even contemplating going to OTAs and practice because this fracture is bothering me, and I'm like, I'm like, damn, one more year, and that's it, just one more year. And it's only really because something transpired in the league regarding us and playoffs, and we didn't like how it was handled.
Yeah.
So because of how that happened, I was like, I'm coming back. Because if nothing would have happened and we would have just went to our playoff game, win or lose, I was going to be done.
Yeah.
But because we got done a certain way, like some suckers, I was like, no, I'm coming back. Like, I have to. I have to. There's no way. My final hurrah is somebody trying to lay me on my back and violate my manhood. Like, nah.
Pause.
Yeah. So, yeah, man.
Oh, well, I see a lot of tremendous growth and very a deep understanding on, like, you know, styles and approaches of tattoos, and exploring the intersections of art and sports. How have those diverse passions of yours have shaped your journey?
Oh man, I think me being so passionate about tattooing, like, again, tattooing saved my life. And I know there's so many other tattooers that say the same thing.
Yeah.
And I don't discredit them at all, you know. But tattooing really, for me, saved my life. Like, we're on a podcast, so we could talk about it. I was really in the streets. I was out there thugging and bugging, banging and slanging, like going ham, going crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you know.
Yeah, we don't have to dive too much into it. We just don't. New York back in the day wasn't a nice area to be around, so to speak.
Yeah, now you could TikTok on the subway station.
Doing the freaking artificial glizzy clobbers. Pause.
Me being so passionate, like, because tattooing saved my life, and I had no choice but to, like, go full, just go through with it.
Yeah.
I think I'm so passionate, and then I've educated myself so much and have networked really hard in the industry to get, like, a solid name, even though there's been people that try to, like, tarnish my name and my character.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck them. It comes off arrogant because I'm so, like, invested in myself that it comes off to other people like he's arrogant. And it's not that I'm arrogant. It's just...
You're confident.
I'm very confident. I've put the time and the work in for this. Like, early mornings, 6 days a week, 15 hours every day. Like, if I'm not drawing, I'm tracing. If I'm not tracing, I'm tattooing. And if I'm not doing either of those three, I'm sleeping. You know, I've grind, hustled, bustled. I've put in the work. Yeah. You know, from doing conventions and guest spots and networking with other people, you know, and then apprenticing tattooers. And, you know, I apprenticed a tattooer who ended up on Black Ink. And I give her mad praise. That's my homie. Like, you know, wow. Different journey, different path. You know, yeah, she went the TV route. More power to her. You know, Crystal's a homie. I always got mad love for Crystal. But, you know, when that's that work ethic. If you really grind, you could get somewhere. You know, she's made better business decisions than I have. So, you know, but that's just life. Like, you know, it don't come easy. I think because I was so invested, the flip side to that is because I ate, slept, and masturbated tattooing for so long, Other things I lost, like family and relationships. Like you focus so much.
Yeah.
Other stuff you kind of lose grasp of, you lose time of, and you can't get that back. So like now, 15 years in of me tattooing, if my mom want to go out on dinner, I'll cancel. I shouldn't really say this, but
Yeah.
I might cancel an appointment or
realize-
reschedule because I want to go spend time with my mom, or I want to go see my grandmother. You know, like a big part of my career.
Yeah.
My grandfather was, he didn't like it when I started, and then he seen me make like 400 on like a tat, and he's like, "You made all of that in 2 hours?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh no, you know, old Spanish man. Oh."
Yeah.
He's like, "So mucho dinero." And I'm like, "Yeah." and you know, he supported it after that. And even when I asked him for a loan to open up Unique Ink in 2013, he gave me that. And then he passed away 2016-ish, going into 2017, I think. And I still owed him the money. And you know, can't do nothing about that. He's long gone. But he always was like, he was like a back. That was my pops. Like my dad wasn't around, so that was my pops. So it was like,
it was your backbone.
Yeah, he was my backbone, and he was like the male figure. So it was like, all right. But for a while, I didn't see him. Like even after when I closed up my shop, because me and that landlord had some issues, and I was trying to relocate and figure things out.
Yeah.
And I was young too. So for the podcast to know, I was like, I got my shop when I was 23 years old. I was young.
Yeah.
No formal business education. I was young, just winging it. And then I closed up because, you know, I signed my soul on a contract with a landlord, and I got caught up and swindled and whatever. And so I'm like 26 maybe, still young, you know. Just winging it too, bro. Nobody in my family got a business. You know, we just winging it. You know.
Yeah.
I just took a step that my generation of my family. You know, my brother saw that. So like my brother's successful as well, but he's made all the right steps, watching me make all the mistakes. So you know, there's always got to be that one that sets kind of a blueprint. Yeah. And I was the blueprint, I guess. But I didn't see him for like, you know, I was told him like, yo, I'm trying to get your money back. I didn't see him for like 8 months. And then when he passed away, I hadn't spoken to him for like 6 months before he passed. So like even when he was in his coma state, and I was able to speak to him then, and his heart rate let me know he was still listening. I mean, we had our moment, but that's not quality time. Like, so because of that, now if I want a vacation, I'm a vacation. If my daughter wants to go to Jamaica, guess what? I'm going to Jamaica. Okay. I'm not gonna kill myself for an industry that
you put in time in.
I put in time in, and also doesn't carry. Like, yo, I talk all this good stuff I just talked. You'd be surprised how many clients that they say they love you and they respect you, right? And they genuinely like love your art. Yeah. But if you tell them, hey, I can't do your tattoo, you know how many clients will go somewhere else and cheat on you with another tattooer? Yeah. And then get some caca, and then now you gotta cover it or fix it, or and 15 years in, I don't want to fix it. Yeah. I'm covering it. Like, we're not fixing that. I'm not Jesus. I'm like, I can't turn water into wine. Like no, we're gonna cover that. We're just gonna cover it, you know. But because of that situation with my grandfather, I've learned to just like now put myself first. My mental health is first. My family, certain things are first, you know.
So you learn the importance of living the moment, right? And then knowing when to put work pause. Yeah, society puts this thing on you about you gotta work, and bust your ass. So then you got nothing to show for it. Like, you got nothing to show for it. No quality time with your family, no vacations, no none of that. All you're doing is work. And what happens? Look at the working class folk, bro. 9 to 5s, they do 20, 30 years, they're the same boring ass job. They get their little pension, their little 401k, and then
they retire. They're some in 50s and their 60s, and then they some of them die after they retire. 10 years in, die. 20 years after, die. Like, how many old people we know are still working? Why? Because if they stop working and they stop being mobile, they just get sick and end up croaking.
Yeah.
And
that's why people don't retire now. They probably retire in their late 60s, early 70s.
My mom and her wife are getting ready to. My mom and her wife, they're both getting ready to retire. My stepmom retires this in a few months.
Yeah.
She was supposed to retire in January, but she's like stretching it out. My mom's retiring, I think, in like 2 years. And I'm like, what are y'all gonna do? They want to do like a part-time thing. Because me and my brother have learned the entrepreneur route of like, get your money, have a business, you know, but also live your life.
Yeah.
Like, we get all it. When I die, Steven, I can't take my tattoo machine with me.
True.
I can't take my money with me. So I need to enjoy it while it's here.
Yeah.
I don't want to try to enjoy it when I'm 90 and I got health complications. I'm 35 years old and I already got health issues. My knees are bad from football. My ankle hurts. My back.
My ass. My shoulder.
Yeah, like, so nah, you just gotta run with it and try to live your life. Try to be his thing, you know? I'm not knocking the working class. I got all my friends are working class dudes. And sometimes they hated that they can't go out because they got to work on Saturday. And I'm like, not me. You know why? Because it pays the cost to be the boss.
Wow. Well, speaking of cost to being the boss and mastering the needle and the diamond. So let's uncover the parallels between like tattooing and coaching, because both require precision, patience, and the ability to inspire and trust.
Right? What do you want to know?
Well, how are they the same? Like, you know, coaching and tattooing, how are they same but different? Because you have to engage with your players, also engage with the consumer. Well, you have to practice patience.
First and foremost, I'm a head coach. I'm not the owner of the program.
Yeah.
I am a head coach. I'm the head coach for the 18U age group, which is all the kids that are 16 going into 17 and 18.
Yeah.
So I deal with, like, you could say juniors and seniors.
Okay.
Of high school. I deal with that group because when I was coaching the 16 and the 12U, I had no patience. So I just decided to deal with the older girls that are a little bit more advanced.
Yeah.
And I can able to tell them, like, yo, shut the fuck up. Go run your fucking laps. And that aspect, and they'll be like, all right, coach, boom, I can't talk to a 12-year-old like that. You know? So it's difficult. It's a culture shock, though, for sure. Like, you know, me being a football dude, yeah, I grew up playing baseball.
Yeah.
Let me get that out the way. I grew up playing baseball. My uncles are baseball players. My grandfather, rest his soul, baseball player. My grandfather did track. He tried to do track for the Olympics in Puerto Rico. My uncles both did baseball. One went a lot further than the other. That uncle is a softball coach for a high school. He's very involved with sports. Yeah. It sucks that his daughters, my cousins, have no athleticism at all, but whatever. Not everybody gets it. But even when I started this journey with the Lady Knights, I brought him on as a coach, and he's a phenomenal coach. Like, I swear, I was stretching the girls, and one of my pitchers was warming up, and all he did was show up. And he looked at her, and he was like, change this on your hip, make sure your foot drags. He goes, and don't turn your wrist. And he's gonna go, he goes, you're gonna give yourself a rise ball. And she did that, gave her a rise ball. And it was like, that's just experience, though. He knows, you know? So it was a culture shock, because, you know, football, coaches are either very strict, loud, aggressive, in your face. Yeah. And then you got some coaches that are very quiet, but they're strict. Yeah. And that's just how it is. That's the only two kind of coaches you get. Yeah, you might get like a soft coach, but that's not a coach, because everybody runs all over him. So you get those two kind of guys. So coming over to softball and then coaching girls. This ain't coaching boys. Yeah. Coaching girls, young women. They're sensitive, emotional, delicate. you gotta learn how to speak to them without making them feel stupid. You gotta learn how to break it down. Females, I feel, absorb information different than guys.
Okay.
They also make things a little bit more complicated for themselves.
Okay.
So you have to break it down. You know how many boys I see at the academy, because now the program that I coach has joined with a baseball academy.
Yeah.
So this baseball academy is huge, from like 7U all the way to 18U. All those coaches are all former MLB players, all of them.
Wow.
So like at the facility, they have banners of all those coaches.
Yeah.
Of when they played in the MLB, and then they have guys that they've trained that are coming out of the Bronx, that got into D1 schools, that are now
getting ready to go to the next level.
These guys are in the minors already.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's this kid's name from the Cincinnati Reds? De La Cruz.
Ooh.
He gets trained by one of the coaches there. So like, I'm with a program that
you get knowledge.
Eats, sleeps, shits, masturbates, and married baseball. and them getting us as a softball program it now works because there's girls that want to play softball. Like, you know? So now it's always just one big family now. And surprisingly, me, the owner, Coach Melissa, myself, and Julio, our old former teammate, we're the only 3 Puerto Ricans, and we're the softball coaches. And even with that sport, we've learned to adjust. Melissa is a baseball player who also plays softball, but because she's a female, the girls, that's that mom figure, they respect her. There's that they respect all 3 of us, but there's that utmost respect, and she's a woman, so she knows she can identify with them super fast. Yeah. Me and Julio had to figure that out. You know, I'm blessed to have a daughter, so I already knew what I was getting myself into. You know, but Julio's he's a strict coach. Yeah, like I'm strict too, but I'm the aggressive strict coach. He's the come here. I need 40 push-ups right now. He's
collective.
Yeah, he'll make them run up and down 5 flights of steps for 20 minutes and eat a pizza while they're stressed.
Nice.
I think that the only thing I could bring to compare both of them is that I have knowledge on both of them really well, and I'm passionate about it. And because I'm look, that's Julio calling me right there.
Oh wow,
crazy!
That's crazy.
Because I'm gonna tag him too. Once we upload this, watch the podcast, Julio. Because I'm passionate about it. I'm getting the results that I need out the girls, the softball. The trial and error, like everything else. We tried to do it on our own. It didn't really work out. Whatever. You know, we used to have a lot of girls, and then there's this little, I call it an epidemic going on where kids don't want to earn their championships. They just want to go to a winning team already and just either ride the bench or be a role player. They don't want to put that grind, that grit. They don't want to get dirty and really earn it. For me, our age group, you know, we would rather have earned it and bust our ass season in and season out to say, yo, I got that chip, you know?
And I worked hard
for it instead of going to a powerhouse team and not really doing much, you know? I think that comes from what we see in sports today with the trading. The
power teams.
The power teams. Certain athletes going to another team to go pair up with another guy. And, you know, some of these idolized GOATs to go elsewhere and everybody follows. Like, they see that and they want to go do that. And it's like, that doesn't benefit you. And those guys could do it. They get paid millions of dollars. Like, they're at that level. You need to show out. Like, you know, I had one of my players go to a college, D1 college showcase for pitching. And I think that she did a phenomenal job for her being a pitcher who, she's a great pitcher, by the way. But softball isn't a sport that is really catered to in New York City. And a lot of these coaches aren't really softball coaches. They're just teachers that are getting paid extra to coach. They might know a little bit about baseball. Baseball and softball are similar. They're not the same.
Yeah.
They're similar, but techniques are different, rules are different, everything's different. Like from fast pitch, slow pitch, rise ball, drop ball, curve ball, change up, like everything's different. Even stealing bases, like there's so much crow hopping. There's no crow hopping in
baseball.
Baseball, and crow hopping's illegal in softball. And NCAA just switched that law. So many girls that train to not crow hop are like, damn, now I could crow hop. Because what are they doing to sports? They're softening, they're watering down sports. We see it with baseball, we see it with football. We see it with football every Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Every Monday, every Thursday, Sunday, and Monday, we see that softball's getting soft. You know? I'd rather watch college football now. At least they still hitting.
Yeah.
And with softball, yeah, bro, I've had true story. I have an outfielder. One day we're playing a doubleheader, and we're playing the second game. We're down 2 runs in the second inning. She's leading off. So, you know, I'm like, yo, go do your thing. She goes, all right, coach. She starts crying. I'm like, what are you crying about? She's crying. She goes, coach, so much pressure. I'm like, what are you crying about? Just go over there, do what you do. She goes, coach, you don't understand. And I'm like, what is wrong? In my head, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this girl? Then she ends up telling me she got her menstrual.
Nice.
And I was like, go speak to Coach Melissa. Go get a Mito. And, you know,
do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And then I guess maybe the school system has babied a lot of these girls that when they do get their menstrual, and I'm not because I know some women can't function when they get their menstrual.
Yeah.
But in the real world in society, you know that you can't call off a whole week at work because you got your menstrual. You're getting written up.
Yeah.
The supervisor might, you know, certain things might go down, you know? You know what I mean? The minute they get a menstrual, they don't want to play. I'm like, that doesn't work. Because if you go to college and you're playing college softball, you can't tell your coach you got your menstrual that you don't want to play.
Yeah.
He's going to look at you or she's going to look at you like, what? Like the generations before you dealt with it. You have to learn how to deal with it. You got to build that adversity to deal with certain things, you know?
Yeah.
Just like how many times we wake up, we don't want to go to work. We got to go to work.
Yeah.
You know, but it's different culture shock for me, bro. So it took me like a season to adjust. Really, it really did to adjust and to study. That's another thing. Like I had to study. People don't study. I had to like really sit there, like, all right. And I got that work at the guy tattooing, like studying and educating myself.
Okay.
And I just went back and read all the bylaws and the rules to softball and certain techniques and see how they change and really like just watch NCAA tournaments, bro. My TV is always on college softball now. Always.
Nice.
I'd rather watch college softball than other college sports. Like just, you know, and then I'll ask my girls, did you guys watch the game? Crickets. All right, I need like 10 laps.
Nice.
Because you got to be a student of your craft.
Yeah.
You can't just
show up and just like, hey, I'm here to play.
Right. You gotta you gotta want it. You gotta love it. You gotta eat, sleep, shit it. Like some of them get that, some of them don't. And it shows at practice, shows during games.
It shows during the long run.
Yeah.
Okay. So your experiencing of coaching, like has that, and experiencing coaching the youth, has that worked on your communication skills and like knowing when to speak stern and knowing when to speak soft?
Yeah, it's helped me. It's helped me transition that. I've learned that because I was always a vocally aggressive individual.
Yes.
And then physically aggressive looking, whatever.
Yeah.
But my daughter actually is the reason why I started learning that, and I was only able to hit that light switch with her, and nobody really else. But then once I started coaching and certain life events happened, started like, you know, chilling out. But yeah, it has helped me a lot, tremendously, and I'm happy for that. And it's crazy because now those girls love me. Like, if another player from another team disrespected me, there's like 15 girls like, don't talk to my coach like that. And I'm like,
yeah, because it's like, hey, I put in the work. We worked in the trenches together.
Yeah, and I've also proven a few things that I got their back through and through.
Yeah,
helping some of them through family issues, school stuff. I'm just not a softball coach. Like, I'm a mentor to some of them. They call me like, coach, I need help with this. I'm like, all right, you know. And some people might hear me and be like, you know, he does a lot. Like, I don't look at it like doing a lot is just doing it. Mm-hmm. Like how many OGs or mentors is out there really like dealing with kids?
Yeah.
Or really dealing with the youth, trying to guide them the right way.
Because some of them are fatherless.
Right. Or some of them are fatherless. Some of them just don't have that guidance.
Yeah.
The schools ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Bro, when did you figure out about credit? When did you learn about credit?
Oh, when I was an adult.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
outside of school.
Right. So why the knowledge I have about credit and LLCs and DBAs and distros and all of that, why would I not pass it on to a 16, 17-year-old who wants to be an entrepreneur, that wants to start their own music company or their own clothing brand or, you know, whatever it is? Why? Oh, streaming apps. Okay, you got a little streaming app. Well, you got to turn your little streaming business into an LLC and put your ass on payroll so that you can be able to pay. And then this and that, so IRS doesn't come and be like, hey, come here, give me your pocket, your house, and your car. Like, you know?
Interesting.
So I'd rather plant the seed now when they're kids and them be educated from my mistakes.
Yeah.
Because that's the point of being a mentor and an OG. Or old head, like they call us now.
Yeah.
Then just sitting back, like and not doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people that will sit there and be like, yeah, I do for the community. Do you really? Or you extort the community? Or you like are you giving 10% but taking 90 from the youth? Because I know a lot of guys like that. In the football world, the baseball world, softball world, there's coaches like that. They do the bare minimum. And they take everything back, down from stealing league fees and uniforms and fundraisers and checks. And they give the bare minimum to the kids. And then some parents just throw their kids in the program, don't know. And then some parents find out and take them elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that. I was a young kid. My moms didn't have much. I was poor. My mom couldn't put me in football when I was a kid because it was too expensive. And when she put me in baseball, she made the best of it. Me and my brother made the best of our situation, and we did what we had to do.
Yeah.
So as I got old, once we got older, you know, my brother plays ball. He's a ball player. Damn good at it. I went football, damn good at football. But we both play softball and baseball. It's a family thing, and because of that, we try to mentor certain things. You know? I definitely with my girl, I speak to them, mentor them, try to educate them. You know, and at the same time, I try not to overstep my boundaries because they're girls, bro. Yeah. So you know, with certain things, you can't say certain things, you can't do certain things. It might look inappropriate or seem inappropriate to the others, other people's eyes. Yeah. And I don't care for others, but at the same time, I don't want to get labeled the wrong way or wrongfully convicted of you know, because I'm trying to help one of my athletes out. You know, I have 4 athletes that are 13 years old that all they talk to me about is going D1. So now we have this academy. I need to see the work ethic. Yeah. You want to go D1? Let's go D1. Yeah. Don't think eating a pastelito before practice is gonna make you go D1. You better go have a goddamn banana and an orange. Yeah. And yeah, if you throw up, you throw up. And guess what? That means you're pushing your body to the limit. Yeah. You know how many times I done threw up Hennessy and Gatorade after OTA practice? Why? Because I pushed my body to the limit.
It's like, wait, hold on. Yeah. All right, I feel better. Let's go. Right.
Right. Yeah. But I think that's the difference, and I think some of these fraudulent coaches and people in the school system, they get intimidated by somebody who's genuinely giving back to the kids or pure, which is why I feel like I've been having a hard time trying to get into certain high schools to coach or to even get a job in a high school to then go the route into coaching. Yeah, because I'm really focused. I'm not focused on the numbers and the statistics. Yeah, I'm focused on really the kids. Like before I was coaching and I owned my tattoo shop, I was doing at-risk youth programs, working with gang members, like young gang members. People don't know that. Wow. Nobody knows that.
That's the first of, wow. Yeah. Damn.
And everybody's like, why? I'm like, why? Why not? Like I'm a gangbanger. Like I can't. I'm from the same path they going down. Like why not? And they need to see that somebody could do it. You don't have to be trapping to make it. You could actually, if you want to be in the streets and, you know, if you want to be a knucklehead, like my mother says, a hard head make a soft ass. Go ahead. I learned the hard way. But I definitely took some of that money that was made in the streets and
in the fast lane,
and invested it towards my business.
Yeah.
And that's why I said tattooing saved my life. Mm-hmm. And some of these young kids, they need that, bro. So, yo, tattooing, bro. Yeah. Listening to this youth, oh my God, bro. It's really like no, and I sound old saying it, nigga. There's no guidance.
Yeah.
There's no guidance. They come in here, no tattoos. Y'all want to get a face tat? Why? Cause it looks tough, my nigga. I'm like, you're not getting that. Like, get out of here. Mm-hmm. Like, but how much? You know what? For you, 200. You got to throw the ridiculous number out there to scare them away. They're like, nah, you bugging. He got me fucked up. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, dude, get out of here. You know, then even getting like, there's certain tattoos I won't do.
Wow.
Yeah, just cause like, you're gonna like, I will tattoo almost anything, but it depends on the person. I won't put gang tattoos on a young kid. No. I won't do face tattoos on a younger kid. Nope. If he's a rapper, whatever.
Hey, you know what? That's your stick. There you go.
Whatever. You know, but like, you know, fuck a streamer.
Yeah.
That wants a face tattoo. Why? You play video games.
Stick to video games.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, why would I put a face banger on you? Because you think it looks cool? No. I have 3 face tattoos, and I forget that I have them, and people are constantly always in my face. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what the hell are you looking at? And then I remember, oh, yeah, I have
face tattoos.
Like, you know, but this is what I do. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember when I got my face tattoo, my first one was my mother's name on my face. Yeah. And it was... I wanted it smaller, but my boy Joel made it this big. Yeah. And I remember when I woke up and I was like, yo, Ma, look, I did your name. She's like, why it's so fucking big? That's not the reaction I wanted. But it's my mom's name. Like, I don't regret it. I don't regret none of my tats, but it was a face tat. And so many people were like, oh, I lost clients behind that. Like, you know, friends too. A lot of friends. Wow. Because, oh, you're damaging your face. Not understanding this is the journey, the path I took. Yep. This is what I do for a living. Yep. I believe, don't hate me over there, Chris. I said this last time. Me and him was having a conversation and he cursed me out behind it. When I was coming up, if you were a tattooer, yeah, I felt like you have to have mad tats. And I remember hearing the old heads and some of the OGs like before me in the tattoo world like bash other tattooers. They didn't care how good he was. Oh, you don't got a face tat? You don't got a neck tat? You don't got a hand tat? Oh, you don't even have a full sleeve? Like, you're not committed. That stood in my head. And I remember some dude was like, yeah, once you get your hand and your neck blasted, that means you're all in. You're committed. And that's the reason why I did my hands and my fingers and my neck. It was like I'm all committed. Like I'm fully invested in this. This is my livelihood. This is what I do. I don't get welfare. I don't get SSI and then tattoo. Like this is all I do. Is I paint, draw, and tattoo. Interesting. And then I got the face tattoo. I'm committed. Like, you know. I mean, now I'm a little older. You know, I want to go probably coach and get paid to coach, but I'm still gonna tattoo. Like, you know.
I think that portion is probably regarding of like, you know, like for example, in Japan, it's still, you know, illegal to like to be showcasing your tattoo. Yeah. But it's still a bustling business over there because it's like, yo.
But it's very underground though. Like you can't just walk into a shop. Like you have to like get a consultation. Yeah. and speak to them. And they're very serious about this. Like, okay, you want this coif? You want this tattoo? Yeah. They speaking to you weeks ahead of time, and you better show up. Yeah. Well, you know, in certain countries like Russia, yeah, they look at us like we're soft. Using numbing cream, sitting there moaning and groaning. Mm-hmm. Over there, shut up and take that shit. And just get it blasted, and you know, and it's very much, you know, soft dudes don't get the tats, like, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to go. What I was trying to speak about earlier. Like, there's dudes now with like full bodysuits, and they look hard as hell. But they soft as shit. These are the nicest people in the world.
Well, yeah.
Because when we were growing up, that was a bad stigma. Like, if you got a bodysuit, you know.
Yeah, you about that business.
Yeah, you know, and you only saw people with bodysuits, dudes who went to jail.
Yes,
or bikers.
Yes, like, that is true.
So, yeah, that's bad. That's a bad man.
Yeah,
you know. Now,
oh hey, how you doing? You want an espresso?
Your doctor got a bodysuit, and you know.
Oh no, I don't. If he got a bodysuit, then he's legit. Cause
no, I know, but what I'm saying is like, you know, it's changed. The industry has changed. There's a lot of good things I love about it.
And in speaking of which, I wanted to know, like, for the audience, like balancing the art and athletics. Like, what are the challenges between, like, you know, balancing a flourishing tattoo career with coaching responsibilities?
My diet, first and foremost. Why? Tattooing, bro. We tattoo late, man. Sometimes I'm in here at 3 a.m. I get out, I'm hungry. There's nothing to eat. I just go to the store, get a chopped cheese at 4 a.m. It's not fucking healthy. I gotta like, and then I tell my girls, like, you can't have a cheeseburger before a game. I'm over here busting down a damn bacon, egg, and cheese right before my own football game. But I will perform at its peak. I will deal with the
consequences after.
Yeah, they won't. I think the hardest part is time management. And then my clients. My newer clients understand it more than my older clients. My older clients don't understand that I'm coaching. So they're like, no, and I'm like, what do you mean no? Like, I have a game this day. I can't tattoo you at that time frame. Like, you really need to be there? Yeah, like, I love tattooing, but again, I have other things that I want to do. I ain't gonna say I'm tired, but I'm a little burnt out. You know, going X amount of time just tattooing. Like, I want to enjoy certain things too. I generally like coaching. I love coaching. Like, people ask me once I'm done playing football, am I gonna coach football? Maybe. Just for me, is like, are people ready to have this kind of coach?
I think people should be ready, because, like, what Deion Sanders, like, how you say, like, everyone telling you, like, oh, yeah, you're arrogant, but then it's like, no, it's my confidence. My confidence shouldn't be shaking your insecurities.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I vibrate my vibration's so high that my presence is felt in a room, and I'm sorry if I offend you because of that. That's not my fault.
Yeah.
That you don't vibrate. You should check your batteries. You know?
What?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to coach football though. Like, I would like to, but I feel that honestly, it's just time management.
Okay.
Dieting.
Okay.
And then, you know, coaching is, right now, it's not paying. It's volunteer work.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure I have money in my pocket to travel.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes some of my kids are not, some of my kids don't eat the way they should. Sometimes my kids need to go home, transportation to get out late.
Yeah.
I'll drive them, whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do certain things and I come out of pocket, even though, we have fundraisers and you know, we have sponsors.
Yeah.
I still come out of pocket and buy certain things. Oh, you need batting gloves? I'll buy her batting gloves. Oh, she needs a new glove? Me and Julio figure it out. We'll get a girl a glove.
Yeah.
You know, like, we come out of pocket ourselves and it ain't a tax write-off. We just do it.
Yeah.
Because we give it back to the kids. Like,
that's important.
Yeah. One day they'll give back to another kid. Why? Because they had somebody give back to them. You know?
Teach one, show one, learn one. Yeah. Okay.
One hand wash the face, both hands.
The numbers.
Yeah. Well, one hand wash the another, both hands wash the face. Excuse me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've taken some of that and I've implemented it with my daily. I think really the hardest part, honestly, is just time management and balancing it out. And that's it.
Okay.
And then now, you know, I have a 14-year-old that lives in Florida. She tried to do the softball thing. She's iffy about it. But she likes the volleyball and she likes track. So I'm going to support that.
Yeah.
You know? But she's also in the ROTC program. So, yeah.
Wow.
She's like, I kind of like it. I'm like,
Okay. Yeah.
So she might do the Air Force when she gets to high school. I mean, when she leaves high school. You know, if she's still in the ROTC, and I'm like, okay, go ahead, girl, do your thing.
Pays for her education.
Bro, you ain't telling me nothing. I like, you know, and she's like, oh, I'm like, and I tell her, you know, and then it's the jokes. I'm like, it's the chair force, you know. I'm like, your PT's not as aggressive.
Oh my God. You might catch flack for that one, but it's okay though. And everyone in the service probably are aware about that, but
yeah.
okay.
And she's like, and I'm like, I say, you see Julio, 'cause you know Julio. I'm like, you see how he's, she's like, yeah, I'm like, that's that Marine shit. And then she met Jacob. Yeah, yeah. She recently had to do a report and interview 2 veterans. I was gonna hit you up, but I was like, this man's so caught up with life. I was like, you know what? I got some other veterans that will be able to speak to her. I'm like, all right. So Julio spoke to her and Jacob, and she was like, oh, make sure they're from different branches. And I'm like, well, they are. I'm like, and be glad that you have a dad that has friends from different branches.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, he's from the Coast Guard. I'm like, and Julio's from the Marines. And she goes, for real? So yeah, and I got another friend in the Navy, and I got a few guys in the Army.
Wow.
Yeah,
you could hit me up.
And even in the Army, I got a boy that's a Ranger. So it's like, yeah, it's a different. I know it's a different hierarchy in the Army world. Like bow and bow.
Yo.
Yeah.
That's wicked.
So yeah, she I think she got A's on that report.
Okay.
So, but yeah, now she and you know she's older now, so it's a little different. I get to relax. You know.
So, Carlos, what strategies do you have to maintain focus and finding inspiration and nurturing your own growth while hearing how you invest in the community, invest in the youth, uplifting yourself?
Shit. Goddamn, that's a hard question. Damn. Honestly, I don't have a technique. I don't have a routine. None of that. I think it's some of my peers in my corner, some of my friends that are genuinely a good person. Definitely the woman in my life. Having a good supportive backbone, a good support system. Yeah. You know, I stopped a lot of my unhealthy habits. So before I would go home and I'd drink like maybe a 6-pack and de-stress. You know, we all have a method of de-stressing, but it started becoming unhealthy. Yeah. Now, I kind of just sit in my car. Yeah. For like 2 hours. Okay. And I'm either listening to music, reading up on some sports, something to de-stress my mind, just to like woosah, whether the day was good or just long, just de-stress. Yeah. And then just, you know, I keep little mental goals. Like I gotta knock this out, knock that out. Besides juggling the everyday life of parking tickets and car parts and bills and all that stuff, just like, all right, I gotta do this, gotta do that. Where I see myself in, not 5 years, but where I see myself in 2 years. You know, the quick goal. Because 5 years is a goal. Yeah. But you know, you need something to remind you of that 5-year plan. So I'll have a 2-year goal. And, you know, but like I've said earlier, you know, certain decisions have hindered me or slowed me down. So now they're still there. Yeah. But I need to clean up this mess that I might have did by accident and then move forward. It's just certain shit like that. I don't really have like a method. My mind just be racing all the time. Okay. Maybe it's the ADD, who knows?
So, Carlos, like, what ways do you empower your softball team and fostering a sense of camaraderie, resilience, and most importantly, the passion?
Losing.
Okay.
If you can't lose as a team, you'll never be able to win as a team. If you don't know how to lose, Oof. As a unit, not as an individual, as a unit, you'll never be able to succeed as a unit, as a team, because you can't trust
The man next to you, yeah.
So the girls have had to figure it out, and it's harder because with boys there's an ego thing, but you could shut that ego down. With girls, they're always throwing shots at each other, and it's that cat fight mentality, all the time.
You know, females are more aggressive.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, I could see that.
Bro, I had a girl that missed all of training, one of my first basements. And I had so much potential for her, but she just didn't want it. But I have a rule that if a teammate is late, all the girls got to do a pole, which is running from foul pole to foul pole. So if 10 of your teammates are absent, I said late, absent, you have to run 10 poles. It teaches the team how to hold each other accountable. So that guess what? Game day comes, I don't have to be running around. Again, I don't coach for a school. Well, the school is different. You know where all your players are at? They're in the damn building.
Yeah.
Outside program, you got to figure out where your girls is at. So I don't have to worry about last minute figuring out if Fulanita showing up, because all of them have spoken to each other already. And if one is missing, they're all hitting me up, coach, she's not showing up. All right. They're all, because I had to break that in. So this girl specifically missed a whole practice. And then one day she shows up. She missed a whole training. Yeah. She shows up maybe like 2 weeks before the season starts. And I'm like, oh, wow, I mentioned her name. I'm like, hey, boom, 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 boom. And she was 17. Yeah. One of my 12-year-olds comes up to me. 12-year-old's like 5 feet. Yeah. Little thing. Yeah. And she goes, coach? I'm like, yes. She goes, is this the bitch that got us running poles? And I'm like, yes, it is. Wow. And she goes, I got something for you in the dugout. I was like, and I looked and I died because one, she's 12 or 13, something like that. And calling out a 17-year-old, holding her accountable. Yeah, but it wasn't just her. The whole dugout was not. Yeah. Bro, all 30 of my. At that time, I had like 30 girls because we had 2 different age groups. Now I've had to weed people out. Some sheep's got to leave. I don't want sheeps on my team. Yeah, I need wolves. If you can't be a wolf, at least be a fox. Okay. I don't need a rabbit or a sheep on my team. And some of my football mentality of like being in the trenches, I need 5 dogs. Yeah. Like there's 11 hats to the ball. Yeah. That is transferred over into my softball. Wow. So my outfielders, they all run to the ball, all of them. It doesn't matter if it's a pop fly to center, left and right, or going there. Yeah. But that's just that's basic outfield fundamentals. And I know that because I played first and outfield. But sometimes a right fielder might see it go a little bit over to left center. Yeah. And they'll look and be like, hey, you got it. No, jog it. Yeah. If you're not going all the way over, at least jog it. I need so that when we play a team, they see there's 100% effort all around the map. Yeah. And you keep your legs warm and they don't get cold and stiff. And they're like, okay, coach. And I had to build it that way. Like all my infielders all have the same, and it is fundamentals though, same pivot, ready, on their toes for the ground ball. They're just ready. Once my pitcher releases on her hip. So I've taken some of that aggressive analogy that we grew up on with football, and I've had to make it passive aggressive into my softball program. Of course, I'm being guided by the owner because if I do something wrong, she definitely tells me like you're doing something wrong, and she holds me accountable. Head coach or not, if I mess up, I mess up. There's been times I made bad play calls as a third base coach, and my play gets tagged out. And the girls are looking at me, that's on me. Next inning, we got it, Everybody got accountable down to coaching. Yeah. Some coaches don't like to take accountability. We know a few of them. True. I agree. And they'll point the finger at the player before themselves. Yeah. No, the player's following you. You got to take accountability for your mess up. Yeah. I do, and it happens, but I definitely bring that over. I don't try to bring it over 100% because I don't need a bunch of angry little women running around. But I definitely bring it. We play ball, but I've learned to give positive affirmation between innings, because when my energy's down, because we're down on the score, and that's just me as a competitor, I don't like to lose. Yes. And with baseball and softball, it's a little slow paced, so you just kind of like, I've learned to, like, even if we're down 2 scores, but we got out the inning dumb fast, keep it up, ladies, keep it up, dapping them up. I gotta keep their spirits up.
Yeah.
Because if my spirit's down or I look mad, they all shut down because it's like, damn, our father's mad at us.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. And then some of them cried. We don't need none of that. We need to go out there and play ball. That's it. That's been the hardest part because I do have some very emotional girls on my squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just like, okay, we're gonna reevaluate this.
But I had to learn that though. I had to take a step back and adjust my coaching. It wasn't just the players. I got to sit there and every season, sit there and what worked for me as a coach, what didn't work for me as a coach, and what we got to do to make things better and change. You know, I had a big staff, and we let a lot of coaches go. Why? Because some of these coaches were more focused on, well, we're keeping the kids off the street. That's cool, keeping the kids off the street, and that's cool having them involved in sports. But if you're not an athlete, I'm not gonna force you to play softball. Yeah. And then you're gonna hinder the team and bring the team morale down because you suck. And the rest of the girls don't. I'm not one of those coaches that are very soft-spoken and politically correct. Like, you know, you're not the best, but you know, we're having fun. Yeah. And that's what matters. No, bro, I'm not.
It's a participation trophy.
No, I'm not. I grew up, we grew up, second place is the first loser. Yeah. So I tell my girls that, yo, you don't want to be in second place. Why? That's the first loser. You want to be the first loser?
No.
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 Hell no.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's either we win or we don't win. I mean, there's no second. Yeah. I'd rather be in third place. At least that's the second loser. You feel me?
At least I don't have to face you in the championship and it's like, oh, I could have made it.
Right. Like, oh, I got eliminated at the first round. Yeah. Now I know what I need to work on. You know? And that's my analogy, bro. I'm not a soft coach, bro. Yeah. Even though I might be less aggressive with them, but I'm very direct. Like now we with this academy with the boys. Yeah. I told them, yo, I don't care who you think is cute. We at practice. You better not even look at them boys. If you look at one of them boys, the whole team will stop and you guys will be doing push-ups to the end of practice. And the academy we work for, the academy we at, those coaches are D1 is D1 regimen even for the 8-year-olds.
Oh yeah, they about business. They about business. You invest money in this? Yeah, we about business.
Bro, it's $1,000 for a winter session. Yeah. Their spring session is $1,000. Like people be like $1,000. You're investing $1,000 in your child perfecting a craft for a program that if they're there all the way through high school and that kid is nice or well enough, they're gonna get them into a D2 school. If they get them into a D3, whatever, they're getting them into a school. Yeah. And they're doing the media day. They're gonna try to help them get the a sports and academic scholarship. This program does everything for them. Like, this program does everything to help them. And I'm like, and this is the kind of program that me and Coach Melissa and Julio, all three of us, we wanted to be part of a program like that. Yeah. So when we found it, cool, because now female sports is dying out. Yep. There's so much going on with female sports. Yeah. I won't get into that. Yeah. There's a lot going on with female sports. Kobe Bryant, rest his soul, was really definitely trying to pick up female basketball.
Oh, 100%.
Softball this year was phenomenal. Like NCAA. I don't know if you kept up with it, but Bama was cooking girls. They opened up the trade portal just like they did in
Colorado.
Colorado, and Bama picked up all the top recruits across the country and scraped every softball program. I'm looking at scores like 25 zip. I was like, oh my God.
There's no mercy rule?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm like, yo, they're cooking them. And I was like, you know what? And I enjoyed it. But at the same time, when I went to the showcase, inner city kids have a disadvantage because of the coaching, but we also don't focus on pitchers and catchers the way we should be. Yeah. So I'm not even gonna go the whole people of color route. Yeah. But inner city kids that don't have that proper training or that 5-day training program, are so far behind at showcases, and it shows. That's why I'm having my girls now with this program that they're training all the time. And if they want to get extra training, they can pay and get one-on-one sessions with these coaches, because these coaches they get paid to do this. This is what they're trainers.
Yeah.
Me, Melissa, and Julio were volunteer coaches, but if we didn't tell you that, you wouldn't think that, because we're very much involved. Like, bro, I have a few high school girls that their high schools didn't put them in college showcases.
That's bad.
Let me break this down for your viewers. A high school didn't enroll the high school's program, not a player, the program, into college showcases, so that those kids, whatever kid that might want to go to play softball for college, can go show off their work ethic and their skill to see if there's a potential. And that's something you don't do their senior year either. That's how you know coaches are unprepared. That's something you start doing freshman year, because coaches want to see your film from freshman year all the way to senior year. They want to see your work ethic. They're not going to know Steven Ramirez his senior year. You send an email your senior year, okay, you better have a really good highlight for them to be like, oh, because guess what? If you, Steven Ramirez, are sending emails since you was a freshman, sending highlights, they get comfortable with that name. They remember that name in their damn email all the time. By the time you're a senior and you've been to several showcases, they're looking at you. So many coaches are so unprepared for that. That you sending a senior to do that. No, now she has to go to college, be a walk-on. Or she got to go to a community college and join a Thraki-ass softball program because you, as a coach, failed.
Wow.
Because you were incompetent. And you didn't know what you were doing. Because you just got a little extra $5,000 on your salary just to coach some girls. And that's the problem I have with some of these coaches. And it's not just softball. It's football, baseball, basketball. Like, they're not doing their jobs. They're just taking a paycheck. Like, I'm a volunteer coach, Steven. Let me break that down for you. I'm a volunteer outside program coach who's taking his high school kids to college showcases, signing them up. If I have to come out of pocket for my second baseman or my shortstop to get extra training reps, I will. If my pitcher needs to go to a weekend course in Jersey with a one-on-one pitcher, I will send her. Why? Because all it's going to do is benefit them and get them out the hood and make them better athletes, because their school's not doing it. And most of my girls have really good grades. So why not? I know what it is to be in the jungle. I've been in the jungle. This generation ain't built for the jungle.
No.
You know, and why as a coach, why do we have to watch them struggle? We should try to help them. Even if we don't have the resources, we got to find out and figure it out on our own. That's the point of being an adult. You take that path so that the youth doesn't have to struggle. So I sit there all the time, I'm stressed because some of these coaches don't, and then they want to question my coaching because I'm an outside program. Like, okay, yeah, you work for a school, cool beans. But you do it because you getting paid extra. I do all of this, I go above and beyond it. I don't get paid shit. I don't even get a thank you for some of these parents. Just do it. Why? Because I'm an athlete. I like to do this. I like to play sports.
And you know the struggles of working hard and like, I want to get there.
I remember being a high school athlete, messing up his knee. Sounds like everybody's story. And not getting no kind of nothing. In fact, my high school coaches were so caught up on two of my captains that were D1 bound that they kind of
forgot about
everybody else who was like maybe D2 level bound or dudes that have potential. What did that make me do? That just turned me off, pushed me away, and I went the street route. Decided to leave football behind and just invested more time into the streets and not into the pads. Sometimes you got to focus on some of those kids and give back. So some of my little, what I've been through is reasons why I'm on top of my girls. And guess what? And if you don't want it, you really don't want it, I'm not going to be chasing you. You feel me? I might chase you 2 times, 3, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not happening. That means you really don't want it. All right, cool. I'm not going to force you, you know? What can I do?
Wow.
You only get written up so many times before they fire you.
Oh, that's true.
It's the same way. I'm only going to chase you, but so many times before I'm just...
All right. Yeah, you figure it out.
And you know how that goes, too, when your coach stops speaking to you?
Oh, yeah. And up and ignore you, and it's like, you're right there, and then he just like, oh, I see you, but you over there. And it gets vexing, but... I enjoyed listening to the intricacies of your life and like how you find your canvas and working in the tattoo industry and mastering your art into coaching the youth and actually being a mentor and giving into the community. In your reflection and in your moment, what was like that not for nothing moment? I wouldn't be here because of X, Y, and Z.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a deep thought, isn't it?
I'm gonna be honest.
What's up?
I got this answer is gonna be a little deep. If it wasn't for my mom's,
Yeah.
first and foremost, if it wasn't for my mother buying me a Magna Doodle from the age of 2 every Christmas, with whatever money she was able to save up and make it happen, I wouldn't be drawn, because she saw that I had it at like 2, and now I see a lot of parents neglect certain things out of their children, because they're focused on their fucking phone. My mom, that wasn't my mom back then. My mom saw it, and she always supported my artistic abilities. It was like draw. And as a kid, if it wasn't for my mom and those Magna Doodles, bro, I wouldn't be drawing. And if it wasn't for her, I don't know where I'd be at, because I was drawing since I was like 2-3 years old. And then she's actually the reason why she pushed me to go to LaGuardia and Art and Design's
College program?
No, to try to enroll in a school my 8th grade year, my portfolio. And I was unprepared, bro. I didn't know. Again, school system just didn't tell me. And I got rejected. That was my first time ever really getting rejected.
Yeah.
But what did my mom do as a mom? She held me down and comforted me. And I ended up going to a smaller art school in the Bronx, but that was inside Columbus. So if somebody's watching this, they know. But if it wasn't for her, if it wasn't for her, I also had an ex-girlfriend that bought me my first liner tattoo machine, which is what makes lines. And if it wasn't for her, because I was gonna put away the machinery and not care, because people just don't know. It was hard. But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even be I wouldn't have focus, because I was gonna give it up. But if it wasn't really for my mom's and my grandfather, I wouldn't really
Wow.
Yeah, hands down. I know it sounds so cliche, all the parents, but if it really wasn't for my mom's, I won't be tattooing. Even though now that we're older, we arguing, just
family stuff,
family shit. We're just, we're older.
Yeah,
she's still my mom's, and I love her unconditionally. I might argue with her, but don't think you're gonna be able to raise your voice in front of her, to her, without me taking your fucking head off your shoulders. But yeah, if it wasn't for her, bro. And then some of my life expectancy, shit that's happened to me throughout the past. If it wasn't for some of the dumb shit I did, and dealing with the repercussions and consequences of my actions, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And I think I'm okay with that. And so many people be like, yo, don't you wish you could go back? Hell no, I will never want to go back. Never, because it shaped me to where I'm at now. The only thing I would regret is joining myself with an organization. Okay. Other than that, I don't regret nothing I ever did, because it got me to where I'm at now.
Wow.
And I ain't gonna say I'm content, because I learned that content means you settled. I'm happy where I'm at. It took me a while, because I was in a very bad mental place. Even when we played ball, I was in a very bad mental place. I was very unhappy with my life. But I'm happy where I'm at now. I'm genuinely I'm thrilled. I'm cool. A lot of negative people have canceled out in my life. 2022 and 2023 have showed a lot of shit for me, and I'm like, cool beans. So if it wasn't for them, my grandfather, and he's probably watching me. He's always with me, and he's probably this kid got it. He'll be okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I would like to thank you, Carlos, for joining Not For Nothing podcast. His social,
Unique Ink Tattoos _NYC. That's the Instagram. And if you want to book an appointment, there is actually a booking app in my bio that will break everything down, and you can always just message me via email, Instagram DM, or literally call me straight through Instagram, and we can have a consultation virtually and go from there.
Oh shit! I almost ate shit right there.
Yeah, I hope that stays on the podcast too.
Oh no!
I hope that stays there.
Oh man,
It's like a blooper.
oh god! I probably do the beginning thing like yo, boom. Oh shit! Ate shit, but yo. Yo, thank you guys for listening. Yo, subscribe, hear us on Spotify, follow us on Instagram at not4_nothing podcast. I'm your host, Stevens Ramirez, and I'd like to thank my guest, Carlos Ramirez, for being here. Stay tuned, stay blessed. See you soon.